Listen, man, we had to get to a page that actually made all of this action build up, you know what I mean? Makes sense, right? I did go back in and tweak some things to make it make sense, you know? You know what I mean? Because I was like, that don't make sense. I need to fix that. I need to fix that. I fixed this mask, like I said I was gonna do. It was making me upset. I like this way more. I really appreciate the fact that I think that looks like it's supposed to. You know what I'm saying? I went in and made sure the bottom of this robot body is, you know, kind of like sparking and stuff like that. I'm actually, he said, where do we get the issue? We're going to get it on TuskegeeAirs.com. And Greg's going to probably put that somewhere. I don't know. You should be able to show that on your screen. This is you? Oh man, you can't turn your camera around? You're scared to turn your camera around? Is that it? Because you're watching, you're supposed to go to the website and show the store where books are, right? You gotta flip your camera around on Instagram and show the screen like I'm doing with my phone. You know how you don't see me on my phone? Because I flipped it. I flipped it. You can't see me right now. You can't see me right now. It's different. It's supposed to show the screen. Well, there you go, man. Alright, that should be good. I'm gonna start with this. Let me see the best. Let me get a good Ayana reference. I like to draw characters from the previous interview. Personally, that's what I like to do. What the heck was that? Hey man, is that supposed to blink? My computer screen didn't blink. I didn't tell it to. Alright, that's Ayana. Let me see. It's good skin tone reference. She's about the same skin tone as everybody else. Okay, I'm trying to get her from action shots. Okay, right here, right here. What do we see her doing? Is this the last action shot she does? Yeah, that's the last action shot. Man, he inked this book a lot. He inked a lot of this. I'm looking at all these. What's this? Yeah, I didn't ink that. I can tell what I inked. I didn't ink that. My brush don't look like that. It looked good, but my brush didn't ink that. I just did pencils. Alright, so we'll use this one. Like this one. But that, my friend, is not. We'll put this up here in reference. That, her there. I will, of course, take this. Because she is in full uniform. I'm gonna take it from the book. Well, I know the guy that did it, so it's fine. I do. I went to school with him. It's crazy. Wow. Oh, listen, man, you have misinformation. That's all that is. Let me see. Only shot she has here is that. I drew her on page. I know I drew her on this page. This is my art right here. With me drawing her. See, I can tell my ink lines. There's my ink lines right now. You know, I did all these. I can tell you what color did it too. I didn't color these. Nope, I didn't color these. That look good. All right, cool. Here we go. There we go. Once upon a time. All right, so next order of business is she's not angry. She's actually pretty calm. Yeah, just doing what she's been practicing. But she is firing a nice-sized grenade. It's not a missile, it's more of a grenade. It's a grenade missile. About that one. It's kind of like a launch. She's launching a grenade missile. There you go. Does that make sense? Dang it, man, I was hoping it did. So, you know. What's that? I look back at the script, so we should be able to maneuver into the next order of pages. After this. You had your chance. You had your chance. You chose this. Just like I did. Right. Oh man, listen. Well, what kind of fun were you having? That's your problem right there. I was drunk. There you go, man. It all comes to light. Gotcha. Oh, wooden cheek. Alright. Come on, man. You didn't do no research on the fact that we can do cover songs for real life. Well, that's not... It's not fair, okay? What if the audience wants to listen to AI generated, you know, content? All right, so then I think I got this. Now the cool thing that I often do, because I'm like, what the hell did I draw right here? In this sketch, the sketches are incredibly loose, but I still enjoy like trying to piece together what about the sketch works for me. Like I love the energy in the sketch, but and this is a real problem, if an artist like isn't careful, man, you can actually lose a lot of that energy when you clean it up, trying to be, you know, like I guess so close to the actual character art and character design. If you're not careful, you'll lose what makes this sketch energy really special. So I'm really trying to be weird. I saw a post the other day where it was an artist and it showed her face, right? No, I'm sorry, it showed the drawing that she was drawing first and you didn't see her in the shot. And the character that she was drawing was smiling. This like real creepy smile. And then it showed her in the next shot and she was smiling herself at the same time, right? But she was like, I can't help but do that when I'm drawing an expression. So a lot of times to answer that question is to say, I know the feeling of what I'm trying to go for more so than the exact, like I know when I said that she's calm, I know the actual intent of her expression, right? But I may not see it specifically down to the detail, but I know her character design. So I'm not even worried about that. More so, I'm trying to make sure all of the energy that's in this sketch, right? And I don't know if you can tell, let me bump it up the visual. So I see movement is the main thing I see in this sketch. She's actually getting, like, you get the blowback from this, this thing firing. I want movement. I want like smoke coming from the ground. I want, all of the nice this little tuff, whatever you want to call it, from her jacket. I want that being blown back. And even though she's calm, I want that energy to actually come through. That's the main thing I'm trying to convey with the shot. But at the same time, the expression and all that stuff, I feel like I can kind of piece that together because I know the character so well. I can piece that together while I'm drawing it instead of saying, let me go find reference. Because I will find reference if I don't know exactly the expression I need, or, if I start drawing, let's say like I'm drawing her face, because I've done it before, and be like, you know what, this ain't working out. This face isn't facing right now. Let me try again. If it's not working out, I'll just go from scratch and I'll go look at some references and be like, all right, let me see if I can make this work. But it really stems from the sketch. All of this energy, I want to keep this in that sketch. The movement, the energy, everything. Pose is really telling me all I need to know artistically. But when I get into the real cleanup, I'm like, as long as I don't lose any of that, I'm good. And I can actually build all the details from it confidently and say, okay, cool. This looks good. That looks good. The energy's still there. If it's not, I will erase it in a heartbeat and be like, nope, that ain't it. And you'll be like, what's wrong with it? Nope, it's not right. It's not doing what I want it to do. Anybody else looking at it will be like, what was wrong with it? It's just not giving the same energy. It's not feeling right. And I did that with this page. That's why I kept this page. I closed it. But yeah, I did it with another page where I was like, no, I'll just redraw the whole thing. The whole pose is not wrong. Just this leg is wrong. I'll just redraw the leg, or I'll reposition. I was gonna redraw Abel getting in this headlock. And I was like, I need to make it feel like he's struggling. And I didn't know if I wanted him pulling the robot's arm, from his neck. But I was like, then again, I don't know how heavy that robot is, so he probably would need support. So I kept the arm down, I kept the other hand on the sword, trying to at least so he can actually show struggle. But he get choked, you know what I'm saying? He in a headlock. But all of that was about to get erased. I was like, see, I don't know if it's right. But that's how it is sometimes when you're trying to figure it from scratch. Now, here's a problem. It's not a problem. It's just, I don't want to close her eye. But it doesn't. Technically, it's not wrong. So, I don't know, when you go, I don't know if anybody here has been, Marcus, a real deal. I appreciate that. If you ever see a fake Marcus, tell him that he owes me some money. When you go to a shooting range, right, you're not supposed to close your eye. You're not supposed to close the eye that you're not looking down sights with. You know that? Anytime you talk to anybody that's talking about aim with sights, they're like, closing one eye is what you do at the beginning when you're trying to get used to the concept. But your eyes use both, you use both eyes to actually pull an object into focus. So closing an eye actually limits your actual accuracy, is what I've heard. I watched some shooting videos, and they're like, don't close both eyes. I mean, don't close that eye that's not looking down sights. So, but I know what you're asking. I'm trying to figure out if I can make it make sense. Because she sees a full monitor in her left eye. But I also don't want to close this right. You probably try to make it up. Guess you got it all solved, huh? Pretty package. I was about to say, she got the Super Show? Like Soldier Boy? Okay. Alright. No, it sounded like that's what you was going for a little bit. But I can understand. I can understand why you want to be associated with that character. True. That's my name. Whoa, man, you don't even know his name. Wow. I mean, in terms, I assume you're talking about comic influence. If I agree. Comic influences. My very first influence was Jim Lee, because that was the very first comic I received. Was a X-Men comic featuring Wolverine. Because somebody was like, "Hey man, what do you think about Wolverine?" And they was talking about it. I was like, "The hell is a Wolverine?" And of course, they were flabbergasted, saying, "What do you mean? Who's Wolverine?" I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about, sir. Makes sense." And then he showed me X-Men book that was being drawn at the time by Jim Lee. Freaking phenomenal artist. He blew my mind with that art. I'd never seen that kind of art. I was coming from video games and I just never read comics. Like we didn't buy comics in my household at the time. So Jim Lee started it all off, I think, and then from there, I can fast forward to oh gosh, man, I want to say, when did Spawn come out? Spawn came out. God, I was in high school, but Spawn came out. That was very dark and very gritty. But it wasn't Todd McFarlane. I saw Todd McFarlane's art, of course, first, but that wasn't who I latched onto. I actually latched onto the artist that Todd McFarlane got to draw the book for years, which was Greg Capullo. Greg Capullo is who I tried to imitate. It didn't matter what I was drawing; it was dark and gritty. I think I drew a girl like a teddy bear in class one day, and it was like super dark and very gritty. It was in Spawn's. It was in the art style of Spawn, and she's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm good. Why? What you talking about?" But then from there it went to my sensei formerly that I have gotten compliments from, and I don't know why he lies and says that he likes my art. It's crazy. But Joe Madureira, who was another X-Men artist, phenomenal, changed the game as far as I'm concerned. And he, I think, drew X-Men, and that's when I was old enough to buy my own comics. So I studied his work probably the longest, which is why I say, he's my sensei. But I didn't have a formal teacher of comic artwork. But yeah, influence wise, I think it goes in that pattern. That's who I actually studied and tried to draw like on purpose. Like, man, I'm gonna get good. I'm gonna get as good as this guy. They were all very influential artists that I think changed comics respectfully, respectively in their during their stint, their runs of the comics that they worked on. All of them were like juggernauts of their own. But if I got down to it, I could of course speak to why. But yeah, I'd say comic wise, and then I'm still getting schooled by amazing comic artists. Art Adams is fantastic. That's a very much a older artist, but he's been doing it for over 50 years, I think. Amazing artist. Really cool style. Who probably influenced Joe Madureira and others. Like he's been doing it for so long. Um, you got what's the brother that did Kingdom Come? You got I can't think of his name right now. Where's that book? It's over there somewhere. But yeah, the brother that did Kingdom Come is fantastic as well. That's not right. But yeah, there's a lot of great artists. that I follow. And I still, like I said, I still get references of amazing artists, man. The current artist that's working on DC work, that's working on Superman, Batman, damn near everything. Dan is his name. I can't think of it. He's not American, but his last name's a little hard for me to pronounce. But freaking phenomenal. He's like literally the face art. He if there's some art that needs to be done for Superman, Batman, he did Power Rangers. He's done. I think he did. Gosh, he's done a lot, man. But he's freaking phenomenal. Um,
Are you talking
there,
about Dan Mora?
I think so. I think so. Yeah, I got to look at his last name. I thought his last name was hard to pronounce though. Maybe it isn't.
Well, you can
You know what I'm talking about?
if you're talking about Dan Mora and William Satterwright, also everybody's saying it, so I think that's what we're talking
Okay, cool.
about.
Yeah, he's done. If he's done Power Rangers as well, that's him. He good. I thought his name was longer, but there's him, the dude that did Powers of X and House of X. No, he just I think he just did Powers of X. They had at least a couple of artists that worked on that series, but man, that boy, whoever did the main book, he is a juggernaut as well. So I'm learning from him, and I'm like, I can draw like that, but he has a approach and a style that I'm like, that's funky fresh. And I'm literally bought the book so I can learn from his style and like study his kung fu because he's dope. He is dope.
So when you say style, this is a question for me.
Yeah.
So or like as far as style, like I've been able to see, you know, um, geez, a lot of years. What like
Mm-hmm.
26 years? However many years of art from you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've seen like all the like different styles that you can do.
Right.
So the style that you used for like Tuskegee and I like Popeye,
Mm-hmm.
um, like this is your most this is the style you're comfortable, like this is the style that you like to draw the most, right?
When you okay, but see, first you gotta clarify what style
No, I
is
mean,
I like Popeye in
well,
your
it's not
opinion.
it's not the same, but it's still like kind of your loose. I don't. I guess not having the art degree or anything to categorize, but it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of a loose. It's just a fun style. I don't know. I don't know how to. Maybe somebody can chip in that knows more about art than me. But yeah, just like the style like that you choose, because to
Mm-hmm.
me, your Popeye is kind of like sticking, kind of like still with the traditional style, but adding like an anime type
Yeah.
of vibe to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess like what goes into your thought process? Because I know like a lot of people probably don't know all these different types of art, like styles and stuff that
Mm-hmm.
you can do.
Mm-hmm.
So what's like your determining factor? I know what it is for Tuskegee,
Yeah.
um, but just overall, I just want to hear you articulate that part for the people.
Yeah.
You
For
know.
sure. Um, it is. They are similar in the sense that I'm doing a almost like an animated caricature style. This is not a traditional comic or Marvel way of drawing comics style. This one is more animated, but I did that for Tuskegee, like you said, on purpose. Um, and so I wanted it to be a mix of both something that felt traditional comic, but also
Mm-hmm.
something that felt like it could be animated. So in between those worlds is really just it comes down to line and how it feels, the weight. Like this, if you look at this looks like a freeze frame from a cartoon, but
Mm-hmm.
cartoons don't get this detailed all the time, but that's what I wanted the line to feel like. So I reduced the amount of color detail. So you got three, you got a primary flat skin color, you got a shadow. Usually it's only two colors in animation. As a third is a highlight. That's if you're getting special. But for most, this is me emulating animation. You only get two. You got a flat color and a shadow. You got a flat color and a shadow. And I did this image on purpose in those two tones on just to
Mm-hmm.
say, okay, I want it to feel more animated. The comic goes a little bit further. The line art gets thicker.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So this is where my comic influence and my animation merge together, and then you get something that feels like it could be a cell from a piece of animation, but it's just animation doesn't do thick lines all the time, so it feels like it lives in both worlds. So my concept of merging those styles, and that's what I when people say I have a style, that's where I usually default to is, well, you probably see me merging some styles to get to an effect. The effect is I wanted it to feel like both comic and animation. So you'll get you'll get those things when you see it, but that's why Popeye feels that way too. So you're right. You're not telling no lies. Popeye is a mixture of what was supposed to feel like comic, because I was the inspiration was supposed to feel like a manga or Japanese comic, but Popeye is very animated for me, so I'm like I wanted him to feel animated and comic at the same time. So you ain't lying.
That's good.
You ain't lying.
That's a good. That's a. I just like that part because
Yeah.
like I put you know I put my dog up against the world when it comes to art. like, but just knowing like seeing so many things like whether
Mhm.
painting,
Yeah.
like I just seen you. So it's just interesting when you're able to do so many different types. Like what makes you decide,
Mm-hmm.
to go that way. So that's
Yeah.
why I was asking that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, let's see what. So Harold has a question for me. Greg, who are your writing influences? I'm thinking of the Icon and Mr. Terrific stories you did for DC. Can you share how those came about? Um, so like for me, comics. Um, I was when I was young. Of course, I'm reading comics and all that stuff is cool. But I wasn't really, I was probably like still more stuck on the art a lot of times. So I didn't really get into like really start digging into comics till I got a little bit older. But I remember like reading stuff that Dwayne McDuffie wrote and being like, "What? Like we can do this? Like we're allowed to do this? We can be black?" So I would definitely say Dwayne was probably my first like huge influence. Um, but then I know when we started talking about getting back into doing comics, um, I I would buy like a lot of stuff, and I just kept stumbling on David Walker, and I just loved his style of writing as far as like how he's able to get a lot out without saying so much. It's still
Right.
something that I'm constantly working on, but just being like really succinct and getting your point across. And then when he has to ratchet it up, he can do that too. So I think that he was like a huge influence. I stand Gail Simone. Like the way that she writes dialogue is just like it's crazy. It's so free. It sounds so real. So I'm always buying anything that she does. As far as like how those stories came to be, so the first one was the Icon story in the what's that thing called? DC Milestone Initiative thingamajig, and that one honestly, like they asked us to give like multiple pitches, and then they were gonna sit down and figure out which one they wanted to go with. So I knew I wanted to do something that like if that was my only chance at like at doing something for DC, I just wanted to really do something impactful, something meaningful. And so they chose the Icon one. I thought all three of my ideas was good, but they chose the Icon one, and that one we just got to roll. It was really cool because the artist Marcus Smith, um, me and him, we were able to like talk through everything.
Look, no relation.
No relation. because it's like an older story. Before Icon got his suit, we got to have fun, like creating clothing, so you could see, you would know that it's him, but it's like in the 1920s. Um, so that's how that one came about. And then the Mr. Terrific one, I really wasn't sure what they were looking for, because the DC Power the year before was, um, what's the word? Because they released those during Black History Month, so I'm not saying contrived, but there was a lot of like super like in depth type, Black experience type stuff in that book. So I thought that that's the way that they wanted to go, but I was able to, get more clarity. And Marquise Draper was my editor, and
It's like everybody you work with had a Marcus in there, man. It's pretty
right.
it's pretty funny, man.
Right. And so yeah, it was just like I pitched some stuff to him, and we, talked about it. He told me what, he was looking for, and then we kind of had fun, like piecing that one together. And I just wanted to, because when we went to the milestone initiative thing, we had to take a course on how to uh, tell, write an 8-page script. And the adage in comics is, if you can write an 8-page script well, then you can write anything well. So
That's cool.
I wanted to really like put that to the test. So you got to, factor in your pacing, and like a lot of the stuff that I initially wanted to put in it, I wasn't able to. It's the same with the milestone one. I had like all this stuff. They were like, "This is great. We love it, but you're gonna have to chop a whole lot of this stuff because you only got 8 pages."
All right.
So you know, but to me, it's a fun workout. Um, and so yeah, I got a lot of good feedback on both of those stories. So yeah, so I hope that's answering the question. Teresa said so many Marcuses. I agree.
It's almost like,
Absolutely.
you know what I'm saying? He had a choice, man. He could have chose the right Marcus, but he didn't. What about Marquise? What about different Marcus with a different name? It's just weird, man.
Somebody's asking Alex Key. See, I got yelled at last week for mispronouncing somebody's IG name because
Mm-hmm.
there will be no spaces and there will be
Right.
real words. So I'm sorry if I said that wrong. But he said, "How do you control pacing visually without the reader realizing it?"
Hmm. It's an interesting way to ask that. Um, control pacing visually. I would default. I think I understand your question, but I would default to saying sequential art. Sequential art is the art of telling a story visually in sequence. It's what comics technically are. If you wanted to go, let's say you wanted to go to college, you'd go for sequential art. Not, they don't have a comics program. They call it sequential art. So it's the art of telling stories visually, in sequence. So pacing is a part. Learning to do that is a part of a sequential art, skill set. Any visual story, I should say any visual story that you're telling in sequence, that's the practice. That's the whole skill you're trying to actually, really get better at over the time that you're studying. If you go to sequential art 101, which I've got to talk to that class before at Art
Scad.
Institute of it. Yeah, at SCAD. I was about to say Art Institute of Atlanta. That's a lie. At SCAD, um, and they were phenomenal, but the confidence you actually, you pretty much learn to build up in those courses is, coming from, like, you got a professor that's trying to teach you. Every visual story you're telling, they're like, okay, this could be tightened up. What are you trying to say here? Is this important? Is this necessary? Is there a better way to convey, what's happening in this scene? So that's a skill that you actually have to cultivate over time. But I'll tell you, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. And that's that's one of the things where I remember I told that class, I said, and whenever you're feeling, not confident about your ability to tell a visual story, remember that you're a student first. I was asked the same. I was just asked this question about who was my influence, who are my influencers, for comics. And when I answered that question, I'm not talking about I just looked at their art and I was like, wow, this is nice. Uh, I mean, like I looked in when I say I studied those artists, I actually tried to if I was in a class with them, you know, they would be my professor and I would be trying to study their methodology, their approach to comics. So, your professor in a sequential art degree is going to be your guide to say, all right, here's how you tell a good story. Here's some examples of some good storytellers, and then you just basically you get submerged into great storytellers visual, like you just immerse yourself in all the greats, some of the people that are still maybe dead now, but they set such a precedent with their skill in that arena that you can still reference them. So I would say, don't try to recreate the wheel, especially when you're learning. Go find some amazing comic art, man. Go find some absolutely juggernauts of the comic industry, and I guarantee you'll find them if you pull them up on Google, if you put them up, if you search for them, top 10 comic artists of all time, and then you'll see hopefully really quickly what made them, the legends of their craft, or why people consider them great, and then study the crap out of it. Don't just look at it. Try to draw what you see. Try to recreate those panels the way they did it. Really reverse engineer if you have to. Because I had to. I didn't have a formal class that I was studying in when I was learning how to draw. I did all this in basically my room. I'd buy the comic. I'd scurry in front of my desk, and I'd just, you know, rip the package open and try to figure out how they did it. So I would say, yeah, don't it is definitely a skill, but just don't try to go busting your head against a stone wall
Yeah.
saying I'm not good at it. Rely on the greats, man, and then reverse engineer if you have to. But if you get training, they're going to actually, guide you along. Here's how effective storytelling works, or here's what it looks like, and here's why they consider this, an effective method, and here's what you can do, and here's how you can approach your work. And then by
Yeah.
all means, man, just combine all the information together, and you should, of course, end up with something that feels appropriate to your own vision. After you've studied the greats, you should be able to do what Bruce Lee did. You can have as many masters as you like, but eventually find out what fits for you. So I don't want
Yeah.
you shouldn't really aspire to be exactly like anybody, but you can learn a lot of the basics and a lot of the great notes that they did and apply that to your own, vision. Go ahead, Greg. I'm sorry.
Oh no, get it out. Like because everything you're saying to me is
Yeah.
like vital.
Right.
I think when I was in the milestone initiative thing. So once they decided, yeah, we want you to do the icon story. One of the people, I don't want to name drop, but one of the people from talent relations, he was like, I was like, how the heck am I gonna put all of this into to 8 pages? And
Mm-hmm.
he was like, he said, go. He said, look up House of Secrets '92.
Right.
The Swamp Thing story. It's like Swamp Thing's first appearance, and I was like, okay. So I pulled it up. I had the DC app, so I was able to pull it up on my iPad or whatever. And I read that story, and that thing came out in like 1971,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like spectacularly written.
Right.
Like
Right.
a guy named Lynn Wine, Wein, wrote it. It was just like I was floored because I'm like, wow, that was before I was born,
Mm-hmm.
and they've been doing stuff at this high level.
Right.
But you looked and you saw the pacing, and this is why it came to me. Like
Right.
why I feel like saying this is that, the pacing also comes from like the script writing.
Hmm.
Like, so there's certain stuff that we didn't, that we're constantly learning and getting better at. Like, we realize you can't have a fight scene like in one page. You know, you need multiple pages to be able to let that action flow freely. So it's just like what Marcus said, like, studying, like, sometimes once you figure out the whys, like why people are doing things certain ways, you can implement that. But at the same time, you want to keep your own agency about you.
Right.
Um, we've had comments about even the Tuskegee Heirs series, which, for like the most part, we like everybody seems to like it, or they lying to us, either way. But like, we've had people that was like, y'all put too much into one book, but we already know we're not producing these like monthly. So
Right.
there's another adage in comics, which is, comics are not movies; they're like soap operas, right?
Right.
Um, but it's like with us, because we're not producing these every single month, then we do want to give you more for your time,
Right.
um, more for your buck. So
It's a good
like,
song, man. Much more is what we got.
thank
It's a
you.
good
I never
song,
heard
man.
this, but yeah.
Nah, it's a good
So
song.
like, our style for this particular book, if we were doing this monthly, it probably would be, with the 4 issues that we've had out, that probably would have could have been stretched to like 2 story arcs.
Hmm.
you know,
Right. Right.
but it's like, we had a certain idea for how we want to do it, and then our fans seem to be okay with it. So,
Right.
so pacing, like, I was telling my friends, like, I'm writing like a couple of one shot graphic novels right now, and I had to get the single floppy issue pacing out of my head, because it's just different.
Right. Right.
So you always got to have like your head on a swivel, from the art side and the writing side,
Hmm.
just to be able to make whatever you're doing work.
Right. Because it is a story. So if you take, let's say you got a favorite movie, right? Um, I was just talking to my daughter about this in the car, so that's why I'm bringing it up. But I was saying it out of frustration. I'm like, why isn't there any? I said, like, why doesn't Pixar, let's like using let's like movies like The Incredibles? I'm like, why haven't they just one for one made a comic book from that movie and just cut it up into panels? Like, they don't got to redraw nothing, just use the same assets, but they could reformat it, you know, in the sequential, I guess, format, right? And I'm like, that
Mm-hmm.
would be, I would read the crowd. It would probably be really dope. And I started look. It sent me down a rabbit hole of like, why isn't there anybody chopping up some of our favorite, movies and films, and just one for one making a comic page about it and just putting the word balloons. I'm like, what? Maybe I'm sure someone's done it. I could not find it to save my life. I was like, what? Where's the why wouldn't Pixar do this? They have the assets, all the backgrounds, all the characters, all of the things. All you're doing is you would literally just lay it out as an actual comic. And I was like, it wouldn't be any different. Just the medium, just how you convey the story. It would just be cut up sequentially instead of in film, But they needed to do storyboards to get the film made. Why not just redo that with all the polished 3D assets? And I'm like, I would do that in a heartbeat. And my daughter couldn't. She was kind of confused. She's like, wouldn't that be harder? I was like, no. The hardest part about doing comics is drawing and creating the art. That's the thing that takes the longest in any art process of comics, is creating this asset. So I was like, what? But if you took your favorite movie and you literally chopped it up, the, the reason it was your favorite movie shouldn't be lost. The
I
same
wonder if
pacing,
it's
yeah.
I wonder if it's just a comics thing, because like, little golden books. They do it with the children.
They do. Yeah, you right. You right.
They take. So I wonder if they
Do
do
they
that
take
with the kids.
screenshots?
No, they don't. They recreate the art and stuff. But I'm just saying, like,
Oh yeah.
um,
I think I saw a Frozen book like that.
yeah, they do like everything. Man. They have Spider Man, DC,
But
Marvel.
they recreate the art for that.
Yeah.
Why?
Mm.
I'm sure it's for the charm of it, but why not? If like with the incredible, like Pixar could literally do a Toy Story comic book without having to redraw anything. They could literally just pose the same little 3D assets and just make a comic out of that. And I'm
Well,
like,
be quiet. They're keeping artists paid, so
no, I'm not. I'm not against that. You can do both. You can do both, man. I'm gonna do it. I'm like, this is crazy, because I would do that. I would do that in a
yeah,
heartbeat.
like I'm on their website right now. They do Disney stuff, Sesame
Who,
Street.
Golden Books?
Yeah, little
Oh
golden
yeah, yeah.
books.
Golden Books does everybody. Mm-hmm.
So, but
But
I
yeah,
think what it
the
is.
pacing and the pacing is what I was trying to get at, which is, if you chopped up The Incredibles and made it into a comic book, you shouldn't lose any of the pacing. The writing should still be there. The stories should be there. All of the action can still be, you actually do have to play director again to say which screenshot, really encompasses what's going on in the, Mr. Incredible's fight with with I was about to say Frozen, syndrome.
So,
What?
question: We gotta. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go
I didn't
ahead.
mean to cut you
What's the
off.
question?
If you had to start from scratch today, what would you do differently?
Oh, you mean from scratch, from like all my drawing?
I don't.
I assume that's what you mean, from comics or just drawing or art or what? If it's drawing and I, like, you mean start with all my knowledge, or you know what I'm saying? As I just reset my reality and I don't know nothing again, then I'd probably start the same way and wouldn't do anything different because I didn't know what I was doing. But if I kept all my knowledge, is what I'm assuming. Oh man, I would draw every day from reference daily. I would actually fill up a sketchbook with not my imagination, but stuff I actually see. God, man, it would be crazy. I would be a genius at art, man. They'd be like, "How is this child so adept at?" But yeah, I had no idea what I was doing for years in terms of drawing. So I just did what I thought was right. But if I could do it again, I'd be a juggernaut, man.
Yeah, for
I would.
me, I would have start like I did. I think Marcus and I, one of the things we talk about a lot, like when we're talking to kids
Mm-hmm.
and in panels and stuff, is that we didn't see people like us doing this like when we
Right.
were kids.
Right.
So like if somebody would have just told me um, when I was 8, 9 years old that this was possible, and I probably would have focused on it instead of doing hood rat stuff with my friends.
Correct.
Um, so yeah, it would have just like sped everything up. Like when I met Marcus, we would have been like, yeah, nah, we can already do this. Let's roll.
What?
No questions asked. So I think that would be the biggest part, and like
Mm-hmm.
all the stuff that we're doing, that we've been doing over the last 15, 20 years, we
Right.
would have already had all that stuff in our bag as far as learning,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to where when it was time to actually get down, we could just you know go nuts.
All right, man. Before you say anything, this is different. Just gonna
What
color
did you
her.
do?
This is different, okay? This is not the full page.
Uh,
I'm only gonna do her today. All right, we've met our requirement
ooh.
of getting her.
But
I'm gonna
we
drop
got big
her.
Marcus.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Doggone well, I'm not drawing this doggone weapon today. Um, yeah, this one is pretty much did.
That's crazy.
Like I gotta get the gun in there, but you can see her. She's poised. She's pulling the trigger. She's holding the actual gun from. Let's look at the reference. Where's it at? Yeah, she's got that. God, look at this ridiculousness. I don't ever want to do this. Yeah. So she's got everything lined up to where it needs to be. If I finish, this is all gonna be on this one layer folder. So once I draw this and I get the gun lined up, which I'll do off screen because I'm not gonna make y'all sit through that. But once she's done, I can go to this. I can go to page 6 and just pop her in, and then on page 7, I can just line up where her sketch falls, her hand falls, and the rest of the gun falls, and just line it up. She'll be done as an asset, and then I'll cover her with all the panels and put the panels where they need to go. It'll be cool. It'll be cool. But we did it, man. Listen, okay. I'm not gonna color everything on the page, all right?
Gun color. This is already exciting. Ooh, you're coloring.
Right. This is just so we can get this wrapped up. You know what I mean? But y'all saw it happen, so you can't say you didn't see it happen. This is where it started. You know.
Al said, "Nice gun, Al. You don't understand how
Woo.
long we've been waiting to see this gun.
Oh my gosh, man.
Like all the weapons, we're like, I
Right.
think that part alone, and being able to show the new bad guy,
Right.
like invigorating to us because we've
Yeah.
been excited about showing all this stuff, like adding elements,
Mm-hmm.
to the story.
It's been living in my brain for a long time.
Jeannie said, "Are you gonna draw the gun on live? Please say yes."
No, God, no. Look, that'll be like a marathon. Y'all would actually have to, like, I'm doing a subathon. I'm gonna be here for 8 hours.
I literally, Jeannie, I promise you, it took him like 8 hours to the first time he drew it.
Right. I was no. To my credit, I was designing the gun at the same time.
At the same time,
Yeah. So that was. It took a long time, but the line I couldn't escape how much line work this is. Look at this, man. Look, let me zoom in. Look at these stupid details that I don't know what I was on. Greg should have stopped me. He'd be like, "Hey, man, what if you just simplify it and not do that? Just smooth out all that stuff." I felt obligated that if I design it once, I can hand it off to somebody else. I don't know who else, but God, how naive I was to think that I would never have to draw this.
This was, if I'm not mistaken, this is the second character
2015.
image that you did.
Yeah.
So you did Abel first, and then
No, the second image was the whole crew. The weapon, yeah, the weapons came in after I was trying to make sense of. All right, so what do the weapons look like? I had it in my mind. I was like, all right, it's gonna take me a while to do this. Yeah, 2015. I know exactly where I lived because you came over to my apartment and you sat there like, "What's the holdup?" Shut up! You shut up! I'm drawing it now. And it was like we had to get it done. It was a lot, man. Everything had to get done. I'll never do that again. What was I thinking? It's terrible. But yeah, no, I'll listen, man. I'll definitely color it on live. How about that? That'll be pretty fair. Because the rest of the next day, what we're gonna do tomorrow is I'm gonna map out the panels, and I can draw that on live, and then that way we can actually see the progression. You dig? That would be fun. That sounds fun. That shouldn't really bother anything, man. It's gonna be good. I want Rodney to do the panels easy, but and then if he comes through with anything else, but this is just one character, and I like drawing Ayana, man. She's cool. She cool.
I think she's our most cosplayed character,
Yeah,
and
we're gonna fix that though. We got weapons now.
yeah. No, but it's cool because it's like you see different people latch on to different
Right.
characters.
Right.
So like the girls we've had Ayana cosplayers, Gina, and
Mm-hmm.
Genesis,
Right.
and then we've had all the boys. Remember the family?
Mm-hmm.
Where did
Yep.
let me
I was
see.
about to say we should post that again. We're gonna start posting stuff again. I'm gonna eat dinner. I'm excited.
Man, don't be
I have to.
Showing your weakness.
Well, I have to. Okay. It's only for now.
No, not okay.
One day I'll beat it. All right, that look good. We're gonna get that. Why would you want me to do that on live, man? That's punishing. You guys have lives, families, probably. I don't know. But yeah, it's going down, man. I'm gonna get it. All right. All right, we're gonna keep that. We'll get a little bit of shadow and lighting in here. It's not nighttime, but still should be able to see some of that. And then we'll get her colored in real quick. But the fact that we can do this in an hour and a half gets the progress going. I finished that other page last night, some this morning. You dig? So, party will keep going, as they say.
We gotta talk about this here cover too.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I gotta have at least one cover
Right.
to
Right.
pre-order stuff.
Cool.
So
You gonna draw it or? Sounds like you're saying it's almost like you're saying you want to do it.
look, I've been waiting for you to put me in the game, coach.
Right. I'm just saying, man. Who's gonna like? Listen, man. You know I'm not gonna stop you from living your potential. Okay. I just want you to, have fun. Get out there and have fun.
I was stick people.
Imagine signing your own cover, man. Greg did this one. Yep, Greg did that one.
You're kind of right. You're kind of right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna. I don't think it's gonna be anything negative to have it on the table, man. It's about time.
Yeah,
You got collectors out there and everything that's like, ready to get that.
I don't know how to share my screen, so I'm gonna share this, and then you gotta show the people.
What's that? You talking about me?
Yeah.
You gonna share it with me? How?
Yeah, I mean, Messenger, and then I just wanted to. You can flash that on the screen.
Let me see now. It better not be anything vulgar. Where'd you send it?
Come on, man. Messenger.
Oh, there it is.
You already saw it. I'm looking at you looking at it.
Can y'all see that on Instagram? You see it on Instagram and Facebook. Nah, or do you see it? No, you may not see it on Facebook because I'm sharing my screen.
Yeah.
That's a good family, man. That's good. They did good.
She was like, next year we're gonna cosplay this one.
Right.
Sure you are.
She did it. Good. Well, let's go. That's probably Colonel Mars. I'm gonna go with Colonel Mars. Nope. It's probably it could be a tall. I don't know. He light skinned. I was about to say, yeah, he could be able. That's Genesis. That's Slip. Actually, yeah, and this is Genesis. So who's she? She could be Genesis' cousin. She got braids though, so it works out, man.
I mean, the thing about
she got red glasses on purpose, so she gotta be Genesis. It made me happy to see it. It's the whole point. I was very happy about that.
Teresa is really with me.
What'd she say?
The janky cover.
Right.
I got a couple of images, but I think I want to do something more grandiose.
Okay.
Janky main cover. So
right.
Some of the images that I already released.
Right.
Is some of the images that I already released. I was thinking about, but I want to just really get in there.
Get in there, man.
Those weren't formatted for a comic book.
Right. Now I got you, man. I'll help you, man. It's just like when you get it together, man. Just let me know, man. We'll get it in there. I don't see a reason why. It's a very momentous occasion. But we'll get it in there, man.
How terrible would that be if I got you to do like a if like I got ready to do a variant cover, and people be like, "Oh, this about to be good." And
Right.
you go in, and it's just.
Well, man, you got to start somewhere, man. People are gonna know.
Teresa says she doesn't see it on Facebook, but you'll see
Right.
it when I message it to you.
Right. Right. Right.
I'm so creative.
Everyone's so creative. What happened to her, man? I miss her page.
I don't know.
I miss her
A
content.
lot of people. I think what happens is people come up with stuff, and then a whole bunch of people start copying them.
Right. That's true, but
Sunflower variant. What's a sunflower variant, Teresa?
she likes sunflowers.
What, you want me to just draw a sunflower?
That could work, man. There's people out there that like sunflowers. All right, we're gonna stop at 9 o'clock.
No, we're not.
Whoa, man, you don't have to. I'm just saying I am. So when I say we, I mean I.
I feel lightheaded, so I accept your.
Yeah. Saying, man, sometimes you gotta eat and live at the same time. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. Wait, wait. Let's go like this. We're gonna go like this.
I might draw a page of Janky Man tonight. I've been.
Go on and do it, man. Go on and do it. You actually keep playing around, man.
I got 7 people that's waiting for this book. So
Yeah.
That definitely gives me,
Gives you a little fire. Right. Pick up the pencil, man. Do what you're supposed to do. Everybody knows. The streets are ready. Are you? That's the question. That, and I can't do those yet. But for the most part, I guess we got this. I almost forgot this. Chicka chicka. Oh.
Teresa, I just sent that to you on the in Messenger, so hopefully you can see it.
All right, that's good. We're gonna drop that right there. We're gonna come back with this.
Is that the black on her legs? Is that supposed to be the shadow from the gun?
Yeah, good job. Yeah,
thank you.
I'm gonna piece it all together in layers, and then I'm gonna breathe heavy, and I'm just gonna go at it, man. Listen. I feel like I could record it, but I don't know, man. That would be a marathon. I'm just gonna I gotta do some. First, I gotta go at it with problem solving. Like, how do I do it without killing myself? With all the time that's gonna take, man. It's gonna really be important for me to not go in so hard. It doesn't have to be everything, but this is a long time coming. I knew it was gonna happen. I knew it was coming. I draw that doggone gun again. Ugh. But again, once I learn how to draw something, and you guys saw it with the robots. Once I get the flow of how to do it, and I get comfortable, like with these characters, like I don't have to ever really reference their jacket or none of that stuff. It's all programmed into my brain. So once I get it in, I just don't think there's a quick way to draw her gun at all, man. I've thought about it.
Teresa said you must record it.
Right. It's gonna be a long. I don't know if there's enough memory on my computer, man. John is for 13 hours. John is for 13 hours. Shut up, Greg. Okay.
That's the part I don't even want to touch, like the shading.
Right.
For Janky Man, it's just gonna be like you said. It's just gonna be flat color.
That's cool. No, that's good, man.
And then I'll put like some sparkly effects. I just don't. I don't.
You can
I guess maybe there's a book you can read that makes you understand what, where, and how
hmm
the shading works. I know you said it to
I
me
never
before.
ever I never thought of it this way, which is just take a picture, right? Use your phone and take a picture of of a similar pose that you're drawing, and then reference that for lighting. But you got to be standing outside, I guess, uh, to be like, okay, where's the light coming from? If you are in a, let's say, a shadowy room, then you'd have reference for that. But yeah, I would say I never thought about that. How to show where the light is coming from, but then how to teach yourself where do I put the lighting? Because it all comes from referencing where light how light hits. So if I take this jacket and I say she's outside, right? That means the sunlight is going to be the brightest thing hitting her jacket. But this is rim light only, right? So you'd get like this sunlight would actually be hitting the top of her jacket only on this rim part, right? So that's called rim lighting. But where's that in real life? You just look at some photography, man. You'll see, like on the top of her head, this would be, sunlight hitting the top of her helmet, right? But I did this shadow behind her goggle going upward because this explosion that's going to be drawn down here is going to be shooting off light backwards at her. So she's going to have some shadows. The shadow on her nose is not on accident. Like I know this yellow light is the explosion light coming from this the rocket firing.
So
See what I'm
you're
saying?
already
Yeah,
3
yeah,
steps
yeah.
ahead.
Correct. But
What?
that's where my brain be like, I know this is coming, so let me just go ahead and put that in there now. But that's because I've been doing it, in terms of lighting. But I didn't color like this before. You were there, Greg. You know the truth. I didn't always color this way. And people were like, "Well, how'd you learn?" We hired a colorist, and I studied his work, and I feel better about I studied his kung fu and applied it to my own. But I also study other kung fu artists. Works out. I'm gonna put her hair right here.
Tony, this sound like hate. I want to know what type of futuristic technology allows her to use that enormous gun. Cause
Oh no, I can teach you. I can tell you.
right, right, right.
All of their
That's
weapons, all guys like I practiced this on purpose. I was like, we're gonna have to put it.
wow.
Well, here's the thing: we're gonna have to write it into the story because we've never actually explained it verbatim. How does Slip use the hammer? Right? Like we got that big old sled, the big old rocket hammer, but the robot and all of their weapons have this rotary engine. Let me show you on hers real quick, real quick, real quick. She has one here. You see this nice little rotary part right here? She has it there. Uh, Abel has it in his gun right here. You see this piece?
Mm-hmm.
All of their weapons have that rotary functionality. He has it in his right there.
Mm-hmm.
Where's Genesis's Genesis? Where's her weapon at? This is the fun part. So yes, I've thought about that, and we are gonna have to actually make sense of it. And I'm excited. This is what excites me. Genesis has it right here in hers. So not only is it the power source for their weapons and what creates the energy that if they are firing something, the robot has it as well. But all of them have this little road. This is a Slip. Slip has it in the back of his hammer. So that technology is in all of their weapons. So it's how we're gonna make sense of, how are they picking up something that's humongous, or how is, do they have to reload it? No, it's an actual energy generator. Uh, and all that good
So
stuff.
Tony's saying, which makes perfect sense. Perpetual motion negates gravity.
Yeah,
If those are
yeah,
like woo 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 woo,
right.
you know what I'm saying?
Greg heard me. Greg, I emailed this concept to Greg years ago, and I can pull up the email when we actually get down to it. But I literally wrote like an actual explainer to how it works in the robot, how it's gonna work, and all of the stuff. And it's not just science fiction. I actually looked up some stuff, so it's not fantasy. Technically speaking, it doesn't exist in this
Okay.
application, but the science is actually sound. So yeah, yeah, that excites me. So I love doing that stuff. We're gonna pull it out. We're gonna make it make sense. And I think that's the coolest way to actually do science fiction. If it starts with at least some science fact, and you just nudge it a little bit into fantasy, man, you got some good
And
old
I mean,
sci-fi.
right, and maybe when this story takes place,
Mm-hmm.
they'll probably have stuff like that.
Right.
So they already, as long as you're basing it on, like stuff that
Yeah.
kind of checks out today.
Right.
This is uh, 70 years in the future.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's my pleasure. That excites me as a writer and as a creative. That helps the design come to life more. All that stuff, man. I enjoy that.
Yeah, Miss Teresa, she was have some really good advice for me. She said that I'm pretty sure sticks don't have room for shadows, and I didn't even think about that. You're right. You are so right.
That is partially
But
true, man.
but what about their clothes and stuff?
Right. Right.
I got to figure out. Well, I don't want to give away too much of the story because
Right.
it's genius, but I need to figure out how to make hair shiny.
That's good.
Shiny and wet.
Right. That's good, man. That can work.
I need to pull that script up. I know I wrote because I think I'm gonna do like 10 to 12 pages as the first chapter.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we're not gonna see her belt. Let me not put any detail in that. We're gonna see a piece of her belt buckle, so I can put some color to that. And then we about to stop, drop,
Put her.
shut them down, open up shop. Wow, man, take it easy. Come on, man.
Mm-mm-mm.
Just said I'm gonna work on it. All right.
What's up, Frank D from Richmond?
What up?
Jumping in close to the end. We're working on issue 5 of the Tuskegee
Right.
series,
Right.
and we're just inviting people to come in and look at us, and look at it and laugh and have a good old time.
No one's supposed to have a good time, man. You're supposed to feel the pain and anguish, pressure. Okay, getting her done. We gotta share the. Wait a minute. Bow, and then bow. Like that, like that, and that, and that, and that, and that. There's some good questions today, man. One
Makes
of
you feel
these
like
morning.
you're making a little difference, eh?
Right. I'm not gonna feel good until I get to page 10 and 15. Because then at that point I'll say, I only got a few more to go. But until then, it's like it's just pit stop for the real work begins. The home stretch will be at page 18. Then I will actually make happy noises on page 20. So we almost there. And then y'all will be able to pre-order something by that point. Because then you'll say, well, it's at least 20 pages I can read. And then that way you'll be confident that it exists and people are going to at least have a time, you know, looking at it on their screens and stuff. That's what I think. Boom, 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 boom. Wait, not that one. Got that. Ain't got it. All right. There's that. Let's get that last one. Yoink, yoink. But yeah, this is it's good exercise, man. Not gonna not gonna show you guys my pain. Okay? I want you guys to have to feel sorry for what's happening. That poor guy. Send all your love and support.
Teresa said she won't be back till next week.
Oh, you know.
Where,
That's what happens when you're. That's what happens when you're an international spy of mystery, and you know, sending you out to the field. I mean, it makes sense. You know, who else are they gonna send? You know what I mean?
that's a good point.
Right?
Very good
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. Send a rookie to do professional's job? No. Yeah. All right, y'all. I think we've come to it. What is this metal color? Metal color. All right, we'll do that. We'll use the same metal color for now. Bow, bow. I almost feel like I did something today. It feels good.
You did a lot, man. I'm proud of you.
I feel like I got something started. I did finish page 5, so that felt good. Then I panicked. I was like, "Oh no, oh no!" I know.
Today is Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think? Well, we'll talk about that offline.
Yeah. Trying to get me to
Okay.
trying to get me to make promises, man.
Yeah, we do.
Why'd you do that? Why would you do that?
Promises. Oh man, what am I gonna eat?
When it's spring and some fall, the 4 seasons with it all. Spring is when fruit did I feel? That was well, guess what, man? Guess what? I didn't sing it for you, right?
Okay.
Gotta always put that little shine on the eyeball. That's important. Got that. Let's put. Oh, you want to put a little red in there? I see what you're saying. You want to put a little glowing red on there. Let's put a little glowing red on there. You know, since Greg asked for it, might as well get it. Get a little bit. We're gonna start with a little bit. Oh, I remember I lowered the density of this. Interesting. Let's go up to about 10. Like that. Put a little glow in there like that. She glowing. Yeah. Yeah. That's about it.
Tell people she got an eye patch.
Yeah, she's cosplaying Cyborg. Either way. Yeah, either way.
And then we could say booyah when she lets off the shot.
Correct. It's not this on a cartoon once. An old cartoon. Classics. Holidays and special time. Okay, let me get a little glow on this, and we're pretty much done. Now I'm just doing my little fun lap here. This is just a little lap. A little glow here and there. Yeah, I know. Just for the fun. Just for the fun of it. I miss Ren and Stimpy. I gotta watch Ren and Stimpy. It's a long time, man. I haven't seen that. And there, my friends, is what we would call a piece of art. You saw it happen here today, trying to cosplay one of Marcus's characters. Cosplay as many as you can, and then show them to me. So I want to, because I would like to see that, and things of that nature. Now, here's a trick. I forgot something. When you have, we talked about this rim light. When you have a rim light such as this, you don't want to just leave it by itself. You want to actually put nice shadow right next to it. Right, watch this. Like that. So it actually accentuates the actual rim light. that's just a little game, you know. I learned that from watching the experts do it. It happens in real life if you ever study light. It's not as in your face as this. It's more subtle. But again, this is a stylized version of it. And it's usually not the same color as the shadows, but we're doing comics, so I can do what I want. I can do what I want.
Tony said we should sell the jackets. We need.
Oh man, don't make me sad. There was that one time we almost got a perfect deal
Yeah.
with the dude that actually makes jackets for movies and stuff. Turns out he happened to be a little bit of a crazy person, and we didn't go through with it. So I think it was a good choice in the end. But
If we ever make a documentary, we got a
right,
lot of ammunition.
right, man, it just didn't work out. I was excited too. I was like, Greg, this dude makes the jackets from the thing. Greg was like, so. Nah, you don't understand. He said he gonna give us a discount. It's gonna be great. He's excited. That was before I knew not to get excited about things. You know, I was young and naive. Yeah, it didn't work. It didn't work out. Otherwise, I would have my own jacket by now, man. Clearly. All right, we made it to 9 o'clock. Y'all have been phenomenal and fantastic. The plan will continue. Okay, let me turn off our reference. Save it up. And then you guys should see the result by tomorrow. I got to do some more artwork before I go to bed. It's a lot of stuff, man. Ooh, my gosh. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. You see what? You see what we did there? Look. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Remember I said I just wanted to make sure we kept all that energy? I believe I did. I feel like it's still there.
I think you did.
Yeah. She's gonna be saying like a one-liner. It's gonna be cool, probably. And there's gonna be a lot of cool panels going around her, and it's all gonna make sense. Okay, all of it, maybe, perhaps. But that's all I gotta say about it tonight. I'm gonna go eat what they call food. Y'all on YouTube, I'm sorry. So I haven't gotten in Tuskegee area yet, but I wanted to know: do they pilot jets or mechas? Mobile suits. What a great question. I'm sorry we didn't answer that, Stone, on YouTube.
I answered it in the chat.
Oh, okay. You're right. You're right. That's cool. That's cool. All right, man. We did it. And I'm going to go eat food. No one can stop me.
I probably couldn't. I could. Willie's is probably still open. Oh, good idea, Greg. But I just don't want to walk over there and then they be closing sometimes early. I don't want to drive over there because
Coward.
it's
Stop being a coward, man. Like, do the hard thing, and hopefully it doesn't work out. And then you'll have a story to tell. It'll be a testimony for later.
It's like it's an accurate point. I won't say it's a good point.
No, man, it's just like, come on, man. You're a man of stories, needs stories. So, go ahead and do it the wrong way. The hard way. Do the hard way first.
I'm gonna try it, man. I know they sick of seeing me.
Right.
But yeah, thank you guys for coming. Jeannie, we send a big heart back to you. Harold said, I love the comic making process. Tony said, waste money on
What's money on Dash? Okay.
No.
Okay. I thought you were saying how to send us money. I was like, I don't really do DoorDash. I use Cash App. But that works out. Y'all have been great, man. Thank y'all for joining us.
Thank you guys, for real. And we'll be back at this on tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Peace. I'm out. Deuces. That's a real. What's this? Not real. What? Let's get it. I deleted the one on Instagram. That's stupid.